once again, Taurus. Dadhichi here with your month of April 2018 overview. And it's a pretty important month for those of you born under the sign of the bull, with Venus, your ruler, moving into your sun sign. So that brings out the quality of your star sign. It gives you a lot more self-confidence, an ability to feel comfortable in your own skin, really. And apart from that, as this planet transits through this part of the zodiac over the next month or so, it's going to have not only an impact on you, but also on your relationships, because it's directly opposite the marital sector in your horoscope, which, by the way, has a retrograde Jupiter. So, Western astrologers generally take the opposition aspect to be, between Venus and Jupiter, to be a little wasteful, a little overextending. But in the Eastern form of astrology, it's considered a very, very good aspect, and one which brings a lot of good luck, great fortune, and more satisfaction in terms of your relationship. We can see the expense side of things here, not just financial expense, but expense in terms of your own energy and resources. And on that point, I would say maybe you do have to be a little bit careful that you don't over-ingratiate yourself to anyone. Just, hold your ground if you feel correct on different issues. But you could be going through a period where, peace at any cost. You've got to be careful of that. There's a very delicate line that you don't want to cross. But generally, this is very, very good. The other important transit, I'm going to just touch on a few that I think impact upon you. The second one is the full moon that's just taken place at the end of March. And you've got another one later in the month, right towards the tail end, which I've written down here. What have I got there? That's on the 30th. So two full moons this month, a lot of emotional energy. And this first full moon, having occurred in your sixth house of work and health, is a very important one. The moon for you is actually related to your mind and your thinking. So we can tell that a lot of your focus will be in that area of your life too, just getting your health together. If we look at this contextually with the relationships that you're having, maybe looking a little bit better for your partner. Hence, what I'm saying is, don't over-ingratiate yourself. It's good to look great, but mainly for yourself. And then you have this Mars and Saturn combination. Again, this is relating to your relationships. Mars is the planet related to your marriage and affairs of the heart. It's right in conjunction with Saturn at this point in time. And what this means is that the frustrating influence of Saturn could be affecting more your partner than anything else, although this does have some connotations for your studies, for legal matters, for travels. Those areas, especially along with the planet ruling your finances, Mercury Retrograde this month up until the 15th, could put a spanner in the works and hold things up in those specific areas of your life. It's interesting to note also that on the 15th, rather the 16th, the day after, Mercury goes direct or back into its normal motion. We see a new moon, which is in your 12th house. 12th house is this expenditure thing that I'm talking about. It's also to do with spiritual matters. Really, it's like a spring clean of your past, going through that and just really just getting rid of what it is you don't need in your life anymore. And we see that you're thinking about that now because of the retrograde Mercury. Mercury, along with the moon, shows us what you're thinking of, what you're feeling about, what you're mostly focused on. That also has to do with that Mars-Saturn transit that we see in the 9th house, which has to do with long journeys. 12th house is emigration and travels to some extent. So with these planets in these areas, that is where the likely focus will be this month. We see your planet Venus on the 11th making a very nice aspect to that challenging Mars-Saturn combination, the 9th house. So that adds a little less pressure, a little less tension. And then I mentioned that opposition aspect to Jupiter, which takes place on the 17th, a couple of days after. So you see the middle of the month is very, very important for you. And that's really the party animal combo, if I could put it, overindulgence, excessive expenditure, maybe even overvaluing something that you have your heart set on. And that may not just be gifts or things, it could be people too. Especially getting back to the relationship thing. You have to be careful that with those people you love, you don't make excuses for their bad behavior under these transits. So it's very, very important to keep that in mind. Then you've got, well, Venus moves rather quickly this month out of your sign of Taurus on the 25th into the finance sector, bringing with it a whole lot more focus in that area of your life. And as I said, on the 30th, another full moon, which is going to take place in the relationship area. We keep coming back to these themes this month. So I hope that gives you a bit of an idea. Of course, the first half of the month, you have to be very precise in the way you talk, the way you present your ideas. And it's important to do that now, because later we're going to see the strong conjunction of Mercury with Uranus. That's not going to happen till next month. I'm going to fill you in on that. But that won't impact upon you quite as much if you've got all your ducks in a row and you've done sufficient planning and you're not, rushing off like a bull at a gate on your ideas, because under the retrograde Mercury, retrograde Jupiter as well, things are not likely to turn out exactly as you plan. Please join me at astrology.com.au, astrology.com.au, and we have the monthly readings there, that yearly reading as well, and the daily readings to give you a day-by-day overview and a contextual sort of framework for how these month-by-month readings are going to work. Look forward to your company again next month, Taurus. Take care. Bye-bye now.